Are we finally going to get some answers? This is Tony. Hope you're all doing well. We got this new story came out. Waivers on NDAs for UAP witnesses. We'll get into that. Looks like we might actually get a little bit of information on this. We're going to get into also a ton of other stuff. Some bizarre footage that is going viral right now. We'll get into what our president had to say about all this. We got also even, believe it or not, Dr. Phil talking about UFOs and UAPs. We'll get into that as well. Of course, we're going to get into a number of other things, including our recent episode of our VP on Joe Rogan, what he had to say about some files. We got a number of other stories. Bill Maher. We have Tim Pool here talking about rap. Something weird about why there's no songs of rap that are viral right now. We got also John Leguizamo. Is that how you say his name? The guy that was in the Odyssey, telling you who he really is. And Hassan Piker going viral. And some craziness with our future. We'll get in at the tail end. Check this out. You're going to be seeing these things on the road soon. All right. We're going to get into actually a number of other things as well. ChatGPT refusing to read the Bible, apparently, in some cases. And, of course, what this woman said on Joe Rogan is pretty crazy as well. Let's just get going here. Let's start with our president. Directs waiver of NDAs for UAP witnesses to share information. He's ordered federal agencies, including the Department of War and others, to waive non-disclosure agreements for ex-employees and contractors so they can come forward with whatever evidence they have, do interviews, actually show what they want to show, because there's obviously a ton of people that want to bring forth this evidence. We haven't seen, I would say, enough of it at this point, and honestly, it's really kind of weird what's going on around us. We have our president also chiming in here, talking about it, with waiving these NDAs, which is some good news. There is two sides of our GOV right now that have been fighting over this. Apparently, our president has decided to just go forward with it anyways, ignoring the other side, which is good. And we have all this bizarre footage as well. We're going to get into in a second here. Like I said, we're going to get into a ton of stuff. Let's just show you some of this footage. Check this out.
Hey, Mo, I know I'm not much. Trevor, that's Mo. What the f going on in the sky?
Que porra é essa, bicho? Puta que pariu.
What the heck, man? It's like every day there's new weird footage I'm seeing. Got this footage here from Japan. Approximately 500 meters long UFO near Mount Sungi. I don't even know how to say it. Check this out. What the hell? This is crazy. What is this? 500 meters long, appeared over Mount Tsurugi. Can't even say these words. Tourists at a hot spring hotel in Mount Tsurugi were thrown into a frenzy by the sight of the massive UFO. It's crazy looking, actually. Huh. Okay, that's weird. There's so many of these weird videos. I mean, I could sit here all day showing you weird videos like this. We even had Dr. Phil chiming in on this topic. Government's most successful deception wasn't, of course, convincing you UFOs didn't exist. They were trying to say that you were a fool to even ask about them. That was not an accident. It was something that they had been running for decades, which is very obvious. I mean, it's kind of interesting how, like, when you're asking these questions prior to now, you looked at like you're crazy. Now all of a sudden it's like, well, of course it's real. Of course it's true. The government comes out and says. It's kind of weird how that is. So it makes you all the more feel like they're just gaslighting you with this stuff. They've told us also there is no such thing as clones. We have clones of animals. Did you know they were cloning them back 100 plus years ago? Check this out.
1985, scientists literally split an embryo and created two identical lives. If they could do it in the 19th century, what do you think is happening behind closed doors right now? We've moved away past sea urchins.
1890s. They're doing this with animals. 1890s.
Look at the modern pet industry. People are paying tens of thousands of dollars to clone their dogs. So let's be real.
I mean, what else can they do? They're cloning your dog. And back in 1890, they could do this. What do you think they're doing? Telling you that they can't. Of course we can't do this. Doesn't seem like that's the case. Obviously you can. You've been doing it with animals for over 100 years. I think you can do it. We had this recent episode of Vance on Joe Rogan, him being asked about Jeffrey and the island and, of course, those files. And Joe Rogan says it seems like a lot of people think it comes from a certain country in the Middle East. You know, Israel. And then, of course, he goes on, yeah, some are saying it could be them. They're tied into the intelligence, of course. Perhaps the CIA, of course, say. You clearly had connections. Let's just play this real quick. Connections to the highest levels. Let's play this.
State, whether in America or Israel or another country, or both. You know, look, he clearly had connections to the highest levels of American intelligence. He clearly had connections to the highest levels of Israeli intelligence.
It's obvious, right? But what's really interesting about this interview on Joe Rogan, it seems like he's walking a tightrope, sort of a fine line. He seems to be kind of going back and forth a little bit in what he's saying. It just feels like it's a little bit trying to satisfy us and sort of win him points, I guess. I don't know. It just doesn't feel like it's being fully forthright, fully telling us the whole story. It's more like, let's make it sound as good as possible with sort of this hodgepodge thing we did, where we sort of released stuff, didn't really do anything with it, didn't really prosecute anybody. Feels like it's just something that was swept under the rug. Unfortunately, hopefully that somehow is remedied in the future. I don't know. This whole world's insane. We're going to get into more. We're just getting started. What's going on with rap? Apparently no songs in the top Billboard anymore. And they're saying it's related to, of course, USAID. We'll get into that. My goodness, there's so much craziness. We got Bill Maher changing sides, it looks like. We got this actor from the Odyssey telling you who he really is, and it kind of relates to this whole Hassan Piker speech. And we got this insane technology coming up now in the not-so-distant future. First, I'm going to mention Food Supply, 25 years shelf life. They got 6 months for $1,300, or you can just get like 3 days for like $30, or you can get a year's worth for, I think it's like $2,400 or something. You can get like a power supply. They got a lot of different options. We just click the link in the description. Click this out after you click the link, and you can see all the options they got. You can just go over here and see the millions of things they have available. Maybe not millions, thousands of things they have available. Solar power, water filtration, whatever you need. This book here, The Lost Ways, How Your Great-Great-Grandfather Lived Without Electricity. Go check that out as well. Might want to get that before all the insanity happens with the robots and then whatever else might be coming. Link is in the description for that as well. Go check out our game, Noah VR, that we're building. Linked below. You can get in on the investment opportunity. Let's get back to the video. We have here Spencer talking about what's going on in California. Almost like he's saying communists are sort of running the show here. Look at this guy. This car thief can actually stop for gas mid-pursuit, fill up, and drive off undisturbed. Check this out.
Southbound Long Beach now making another westbound turn here, finding another gas station. Might even be the same one. He must be low on gas. Driver stepping out of the vehicle.
The guy stole the car. He's being chased.
And he's going to drop it right here. Banding. Oh, he's going to get gas.
He's doing a pit stop, man. It's like NASCAR here. He's being chased, man. Oh my goodness, this is hilarious. What's going on with California, man? What the heck? This is LA right here. It's doing great there in LA. Police are so slow that they can't even catch up to a guy that's getting gas at the gas station. Does he get out of there? He gets out, man. He never gets caught.
Scene here.
That's hilarious, man. Probably just stole that gas, obviously, as well. That's what's going on. And, of course, Bill Maher pointing out what's going on with California as well. Kind of recently said he didn't say he's switching sides, but he's kind of going to the middle now. He's like, bro, I'm not on the left anymore. They're going somewhere I'm not going, okay? A little bit of too socialist and communistic at this point, as you'll see in a minute here when I show you some of the stuff that's being said that's become popular on their side. He talks here about what's going on with California schools. Check this out.
Black fourth grader in Mississippi is 2.5 times as likely to be proficient in math and reading as one in California. Mississippi is kicking our ass in education, and for way less money. We're 37th in fourth grade reading. They're 9th.
Oh, they use so much money in California. It's just insane. You have to ask, where is all this money going? They have an insane budget for their school. I mean, you got that fast train or whatever the heck he was building. Never got built. All that money gone. Everyone's asking where that money goes. And they can't even perform subpar. 39th state. Mississippi kicking their butt. That's what's going on with California right now. And, of course, maybe that has something to do with some of these other things being funded with that money. You have here USAID. Tim Pool saying, is that why rap music suddenly disappeared from the top charts?
And we ain't playing with it.
Let's check this out.
Well, with USAID, we had all this music. Billy Corgan says that there was a conspiracy. There was an effort to turn down the volume on rock music. He said, some believe it was CIA, but that's above my pay grade. The media attacked him for this, even though he never did say, said some people believe it, but, what do I know? And I think it's a fair point because some people do. Maybe it was USAID.
You got to hear rap music.
Just vanished from the Billboard Top 40 for the first time in 35 years. Strange.
This is interesting because he is right about what Corgan said about rock music. I remember hearing him say that.
Months. So this would have been about 4 months after the shuttering of USAID. Rap disappears from the Billboard Hot 100.
That's very interesting. It's like propped up. And that's very similar to communism because communism has to be propped up. You look at North Korea. North Korea cannot survive on its own. China literally funds them so that they can stay afloat. China is not communist. It's only part communist. It is a capitalistic operating economy. That's the only reason it still exists. Otherwise, China would have been gone a long time ago because communism doesn't work. It actually needs to be funded, just like this needs to be funded. These projects, these special projects, trying to make society the way they want it to be, have to be funded, right? You have here John Leguizamo, however you say his name, recently played in The Odyssey, a Greek epic with no Greek actors. You got a Latin actor who put on apparently a face to make himself look Greek. Yeah. This guy's telling you about what he thinks. He's a socialist, apparently. Check this out.
Socialist programs are important, like the post office, like the police department, like the fire department, like your social security, like public education. These are socialist programs. It's not, I'm a Democrat, socialist Democrat. So, yeah.
You are. Socialist.
Yeah.
First time I hear that from you.
Yeah.
Makes sense. He's all about DEI. Wants to make sure he's got Latin representation and everything but Latin stuff. Got to be in those Greek epics. Got to be in all those movies that have nothing to do with our culture whatsoever. Right? He was complaining about Super Mario. He's complaining about the Odyssey. Matter of fact, he was complaining about the fact there was no Latinos in the Odyssey, and next thing you know, he was in the Odyssey. I remember he was actually complaining about it way before the movie came out. It was like a year or two ago. It's kind of interesting how he got a part right after he did that.
Is that a change?
I mean, I've always.
Well, because he can get stuff out of it, right? It actually fits the whole mindset he has with Hollywood as well. Makes sense that he would be a Democrat socialist. You have here another one. Hassan Piker, dressed as Mao. Of course, Mao was not allowing capitalism in China. That's why they had so much problems there. They had essentially food shortages under Mao. Millions of people were affected by that. Then after that, his political opponent, who actually gained power because of his failure, Mao's failure, was able to bring capitalism into the country, and that's why it got so strong over the last 50 plus years. It's because of capitalism, not communism. But you got here Hassan dressing like Mao. Let's hear what he has to say.
No more to the fascist reactionaries, but no more to the Democrats who will collaborate and cooperate with the fascists, who will fund ICE, who will fund Israel, who will help poison the planet, who will stiff workers and help bosses. We don't need those Democrats anymore.
Look. So he's trying to make it into this class warfare, just like with communism, when in reality, it's not your boss at your workplace that's your enemy. Okay. Actually, it is the system around you, though. The Fed would be probably the main one. Of course, Hassan doesn't know that for some reason. You don't know why you can't afford anything, Hassan? It's not because there isn't high enough minimum wage. That's not the reason. It's because they're printing money and stealing the wealth from you. Ever since they took the dollar off the gold standard, no one can afford anything. And it's only gotten worse. It's very easy to understand. If you look into it, Hassan, just use your head, look into it, do a little bit of research. You might learn this, that it's actually the Fed is the problem. You need to put the dollar back on the gold standard and have them stop printing money and giving it away to their friends at the top. So he has got some stuff that may be a little right, but most of it's wrong in what he's saying. Obviously, there is a class thing going on here, but it's not your boss. It's not... I mean, it's in some cases, those at the top do own some of these big corporations. That is true. But that's not the main issue. The Fed is a big issue. It is some of these top people that are behind closed doors, definitely 100%. But he's framing it differently than that and turning it into communism, which is also one of the things they created, by the way. These people at the top created communism. So he's just literally leading you to another error. Okay, they want you to pick one of the errors. They don't want you to pick the truth. They're like, hey, there's only two options and both are wrong. That's what they want you to pick from one of the two options. They don't want you to pick the right one, which is not the one they offer you, right? They want you to just be very simple-minded about all this stuff, get all angry and emotional, not use your head whatsoever. Yes, of course, there's people at the top doing stuff. You got here some of the stuff going on in China. Again, China's pseudo-capitalistic, pseudo-communist. It's the worst system because it's working partially and it gives you no, of course, freedoms. We don't want it to happen here, but they're trying, of course. Some people are trying. You got what's going on in mainland China. Driverless delivery trucks are quickly taking over. No limits on driver hours, no salary. Insurances for the employee drivers and data will soon show they are safer. Check this out. They got robots, semis now. That is weird looking. Isn't that weird looking? Is this even real? Is this real? Is this some AI garbage, dude? Yeah, this is some AI garbage. Look, you can tell it's AI. The tree tops. For one, the tree tops don't look right. And the clouds are too uniform. Yeah, this is fake. This is some fake AI video. Apparently they got something like this, though, already. Does it even look anything like that? This is what I hate about these videos, man. There's always
I was
AI.
talking to Mommy.
All right. This is the thing that has Autoplan X now. It's really annoying. Let's see here. Driverless delivery trucks in China. Let's go see what they actually look like, because that's obviously AI. Very obviously. In China, what do you look like? Show me some pictures. Okay, this is more... Oh, it does look a little bit like that. Not exactly, though. The library... It does have a weird look. It does kind of look weird like that. It has like a weird tall thing in the front. Okay. How about semi-trucks? Let's try driverless semi-trucks. Is it this one right here? Yeah, here we go. Is this how they look? Autonomous driving. I think they look like this. Oh yeah, you do have them looking like that. Here we go. This looks like a real video here. This actually looks
like... It's a self-driving truck. No driver's seat. It's from China.
It does kind of look like it. It's not the same thing. Yeah, it's not the same thing. Same idea, though. You get the idea. So they do have those going now. And some are concerned about it coming out here in America next. Hopefully not. This is my concern. We've talked about AI. I just did a video went viral over on my main channel, God Rules, talking about what's going on with AI, how they're naming it after fallen angels and stuff like that. Yeah, and then also the fact that they had a video that went viral yesterday on X about ChatGPT not being able to read the Bible. Let's just play this really quick as well. Check this out.
So you're telling me you can't read me the Bible?
Not at all. No worries. I can absolutely read it for you. Let's just go ahead and... My guidelines won't let me talk about that. What? Can I help you with something else?
So wait, so why can you can read the Bible, but you can't read the Bible? I'm confused. Can you tell me what you're allowed to do?
Can you read any verses? Totally understand the confusion, and I'm sorry for the mixed signals. Just to clear it all up, I'm absolutely... My guidelines won't let me talk about that.
I'm absolutely allowed to read your Bible verses, no restrictions, and then it says I'm restricted. So can you not read me any Bible verse?
I'm sorry if that came off as contradictory earlier. Let me put it simply. I can absolutely read you any Bible. My guidelines won't let me talk about that.
I can absolutely.
What the heck, bro? So some were saying it's because of copyright reasons, but that doesn't actually make sense because there's numerous Bibles that are not copyrighted. I don't know what version he's using. Even if he's using a copyrighted version, it doesn't matter. I think it can read a verse, obviously, because they even asked specifically, can you read a verse? And I know, because I actually own a website where I actually put Bibles on it. I actually have a contract with one of these newer Bibles with Lockman Foundation that created the NASB. I have a contract with them to put their Bible on my website. And it's a newer Bible. And a lot of these contracts, they say you can use like a chapter or a verse without getting a contract. So ChatGPT is not required to get a contract or pay money if it reads a verse or a chapter from any Bible, including the NIV, to my knowledge. So that's not the real reason it's not reading it. And there are some people in the comment section saying that, yes, it won't read. I had one person say his will read it. I had another one say it will not read it. Maybe it depends on the version of ChatGPT. Also, the fact that they're naming a lot of these AI tools, these AI functions, these data, of course, centers after Greek gods, particularly ones that fell, like Prometheus, and also literally after Greek terms in Ephesians 6 describing directly the devil and his army. Some people may be thinking there's something else going on here. I don't know. Maybe you guys can tell me what you think. Yeah, so I covered that. Go check that out on my other two channels. I have also here a clip. This I thought was pretty crazy and just shows you where our society is. Particularly some of these modern, of course, women that are into some really weird stuff. Okay? We're not talking normal level stuff. We're talking, whoa. You'll see what I'm getting at. Let's just play this clip here.
like really aggressive women tied up. I pay for my porn because I feel so bad what's happening to the women in it. I hope that they are being compensated for it. I'm watching really fucked up stuff. I'm someone who doesn't feel like I deserve pleasure without like having pain.
Wow. I couldn't imagine having to talk to this person for 2 hours. Like, that's crazy. Now it makes more sense. What is this? Barnes & Noble added a monster fucker section. I'm crying. This is the audience of Barnes & Noble now. It's women.
Dude, we were talking about this. We were talking about this like, what was it, 4 months ago? Even Shuan Head did a video on this. There's this weird fascination amongst some of the women out there, and they're like, you will never take this book from me over my dead body. I mean, this is literally how they are about this stuff. They're like, it's like some weird stuff for them. And they're getting into like monsters, like what was it? Minotaur, like what was it? Milk something? I can't remember what it's called. What's it called again? I'm trying to remember what this book was called. Minotaur Milk something. What was it? Yeah. Well, okay, here it is. This is the book that went viral. When was this? Oh, it came out in 2021. Dang, bro. We were talking about this like a year ago or something. Morning Glory Milking Farm. Literally, it's just like you might imagine it is. Okay. I don't think I need to explain it. Think of this word with the word whole after it, and then think of a monster instead of a human. That's what we're talking about, okay? This was her fantasy job in the book, and women are getting off to it. Apparently, it's expanded. Now they got an entire section of monsters with women, and apparently the main people reading this stuff are females. And then they get so mad at men looking at Googling their eyes on nude women, and then, of course, they're reading this kind of garbage. Seriously? Isn't this like some really messed up stuff? What is going on here? This is super messed up.
That want romance stories with an undead monster, a lizard, that I think is a werewolf. I'm not sure. A raven, of course, right? But how is this?
What?
It's real? No, it's a really big one. It is. It's huge. Okay, hear me out. And this is the person writing the books?
Oh my goodness, we've got to see this.
The monster himself may be human eating, but he does not want to hurt her. That's part of the...
What? Oh my goodness, people's minds are so messed up these days, dude.
Part of the difference. Now, of course, there are books that have those...
What is going on? This monster's like eating humans, but not in this case. What? This is some messed up stuff, dude.
Aspects, and they're exploring kinks.
Osmongold is going to have a brain aneurysm here. Yeah, this is the kind of stuff they're getting off to. Not the normal stuff anymore. We're going into some weird territory here. Oh my goodness, dude. Oh, so all right. Maybe we need some more Bible. Okay, maybe. Of course, I know the church has gotten a little milquetoast with this topic, particularly in the 90s and 2000s, like everything's a sin type of thing. But I think there's some limits here, okay? I think there's a few limits. That might not be good. I don't know about you guys, but obviously I've talked about this stuff in the past. I mentioned how a verse was mistranslated in most Bibles, that actually the early Bibles had translated correctly, and a lot of Christians have no idea about this. And talking about Matthew 5:27-28, it doesn't say that if you lust after a woman, you sinned. It doesn't say that. People think it says that, but that's not actually what it's saying. It says wife, not woman. It's guneka. And the earliest translations literally had it wife. The very first English translation, the Tyndale version, had it wife. I got it back here somewhere. The Matthew Bible had it wife. That's the Matthew Bible. I think the Tyndale's down here. A bunch of versions had it wife. Okay? And literally, Jesus is paraphrasing the 10th commandment of the 10 commandments. Do not covet thy neighbor's wife. He's literally saying, do not lust after your neighbor's wife. That's all he's saying. And everyone took this verse and said, oh, it means if you ever think a thought about any woman ever, you sinned. And then this has led into all this ridiculous. So I think what it ended up doing is it pigeonholed the topic of sexual desire. And then what happened is people rebelled against it. And now they're doing this stuff. reading glory hole Minotaur stuff. Like, it went from everything's a sin to anything goes. You see what I mean? And it's like my researcher and I came up with a sort of a concept to explain this. What do we call it? Manichaean, Darwin Manichaeanism, or wait, Darwin Manichaean principle, something like that, where basically you're either a Manichaean where you say everything's a sin, or you're Darwinistic and everything okay. And there's no God, do whatever you want. And this is how the devil set it up. Either be a Pharisee, everything's a sin, or everything goes, anything's okay. And this, I think the devil set it up this way, saying there's only two options like this, so that you're wrong either way. And so, at any rate, I got articles on this if you want to go check it out in the links below. I have like a link that goes to like general link, like in my pages there. It just goes to everything and you can go see it. But at any rate, that's my video. Kind of want to know what some of you guys think. Let me know in the comment section below. And thanks for watching.